Today's guest is Ral West, a serial entrepreneur leveraging 4 decades experience building, scaling, and selling businesses. She now mentors entrepreneurs on how to be the owner, not the operator of their day-to-day business. The creator of Living the Dream Mastermind, Ral is now living out her own dream of scalable success. Ral, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you. It's wonderful to be here.
So there's a lot of interesting things we can dig into here. One, I wanted to start with, you've built this career out of solving one of the biggest problems that all business owners face. How do I have a successful business and have a life too? I'd like to start with, how did you come about this? Was this trial and error? Did you stumble across the Holy Grail early on? Or is it merely a culmination of lessons learned throughout your career?
Yes.
All the above.
Long time ago, a few decades ago, my husband and I were running our business. We were the mom and pop, and we had our fingers in every corner of the business, and we were wearing ourselves out. We were exhausted and overwhelmed and overweight, out of shape, you name it. It was bad and it was painful, but we learned how to get out of that. We studied a lot. We had mentors. I went back to college, and I gradually learned how to set the business up so that it could run without us being there. And it took years to get that figured out and to implement it all. And after we did that, we were able to hire a COO and a CFO. We handed the management of the business over to them, and we took off to go live our dream. We bought a second home on Maui. We bought a yacht. We started traveling the globe and just enjoying ourselves. We kept track of the business. We kept tabs on it. We didn't just completely turn our backs on it. It was our baby after all.
Sure.
But it was walking on its own. Then we we sold that business actually to Alaska Airlines quite a few years ago. And then we went on to build other businesses, and we grew them and sold them. And at the same time, we're still living our dream. We're still traveling and doing what we want. We kind of work when we want, and when we don't want to, we play. So it's a play hard, work hard kind of lifestyle, because we play so much that when we are at home, it's kind of, ooh, yeah, now I need to get things done. But yeah, that's the choice that we make. And living the dream would mean something different to each person. Everybody's unique. So our idea is not the same as yours. And so what I want to do is work with entrepreneurs and say, what is your dream life? And how do we get you there? And how do we get you out of that day to day? And use the principles that got us there. And there are 6 principles that I teach, and they work.
So to that point, we measure success differently at different seasons and points in our life. How would you say you measure success for yourself now? What does success look like now? And how is that different from your earlier businesses?
Success to me is freedom. Just single word. I'm free, financially free, and I'm free to use my time the way I want to. This living the dream business of mine, that was a choice. That was not a necessity. It's my passion project. And I'm doing it because I just really want to serve entrepreneurs and get them out of the pain that I experienced myself. And so I have the freedom to choose to do that. And I could choose not to. And my husband says, as long as it's fun, keep doing it. If tomorrow this isn't fun anymore, I can stop. But I have the freedom to make that choice. And I think that, that's my definition of success. And as you said, everybody's got their own, and at different points in their life. Early in our life, it was being able to relax and know that we could pay the bills. And then after that, it was like, okay, let's add some luxuries. Let's add the dream home in Maui and the yacht and so forth. And that was certainly measurable success.
Sure.
Living the life that we want to, having time to spend with our friends and our family, with people that we care about. That is definitely a measure of success also. And being healthy. It's hard to enjoy your success if you don't have good health. So I'm an advocate of that. You have to take care of yourself. And back in the day, when I was the overwhelmed entrepreneur, I was not taking care of myself, and I was not healthy. And that is not how I want to be ever again.
Yes. So when you're talking about that overwhelmed entrepreneur that I'm sure a lot of listeners can relate to, because we all go through that season at some point, A lot of times when you're in it, it can be hard to see it. Hard to see that it's such a hustle and that it's maybe not healthy, not sustainable because you're just in it. And also when it's your own business, it's your baby. It's hard to ever see that in the hands of someone else. How do you work with clients to help them navigate that transition of looking at their business differently of, no, you could step away, no, you could transition this to someone else? How do you work around that mindset shift? Because it really is a mindset shift.
It is totally a mindset shift. And I think it has to start with trying to visualize what you want your life to look like in the future. You paint a picture of your ideal life. And then it's, okay, how do you get there? What do you have to do in order to make that painting, that picture a reality? And then let's look at some steps. And it's all about taking baby steps, one step at a time. And then that vision, that dream can become a reality.
Yeah. Okay, you say in your bio that you have 4 decades of experience. Not a lot of people can claim that in the business world. I'm sure you have a lot of fantastic stories and examples from that, but my listeners love stories and specifics. As you're thinking back on some of the entrepreneurial journeys that you've taken, are there some top 3 or top few that stand out of lessons learned of, hey, I had to learn this the hard way and this is how I learned it, but man, I wish I learned that earlier.
Oh my God, how long is your show? I mean,
about 8 hours. We got
that might be enough. I don't know. So many lessons because you make mistakes as you grow and you learn. And hopefully you don't repeat the same mistakes over and over again. But mistakes are often just the very best learning experiences. And sometimes they're really expensive and painful too. But
also true.
Yes. Some of the things that we've learned, though, I mean, on the positive side, rather than looking at all of our mistakes, is that we learned how to take calculated risks. So one of my stories is about early in our business. What our business was, we took people from Alaska to Hawaii so that they could enjoy the sun, sand, and surf of Hawaii. It's the favorite vacation destination for Alaskans. Wonder why. And we were buying seats from scheduled air carriers to get our people to Hawaii. And then we would put them in condos and hotels and work out the rental cars and inter-island air between the islands, etc. But we needed to get them to Hawaii to provide all those vacation options. And the scheduled carriers all of a sudden just pulled out of the market. They just stopped serving the Anchorage, Honolulu market. And we were like, oh my God, what are we going to do? We don't have a way to get our people to Hawaii. So we can't sell our Hawaii tour packages because there's no way to get them there. And we were faced with basically the demise of our business. And I remember sitting at lunch one day and saying, should we just close the doors? We don't have any debt, thank goodness. So do we just close the doors and walk away and say, oh, okay, I guess we have to go do something else? And we had to really do some soul searching. And the message that came to us was, Alaskans need this. In fact, we almost could be a nonprofit. It was like we were doing a customer service or public service to provide this to Alaskans. So we said, we have to find a way. We have to figure this out. And given that resolve, my husband found a plane that we could charter. And that meant taking on a huge risk. And I won't take the time to go into all the details of that, but it was a calculated risk because we studied the numbers from our previous, it was a summertime charter. And so we had to study how many people did we take to Hawaii in previous summers and how many seats are on this charter service throughout this summer. And can we sell that many seats? And I was like, yeah, the numbers lined up. We could actually sell that many seats and fill this charter because we had to pay for the whole plane, whether we sold one or not. It's just the price. So you need to sell all the seats in order to make any money. And we were betting the farm on this charter. And it worked. And because that worked, we went on to find other planes and other ways to get our passengers to Hawaii. And we ended up being a scheduled charter air service. And we ended up chartering wide body jets, 767s, DC-10s, you name it. And we operated several times a week and carried over 35,000 passengers a year between Alaska and Hawaii. And we got to the point where our revenue was 8 digits. And we made it. And then that was the point at when Alaska Airlines decided they were going to come into our market. So here's another story. And then like, oh, okay. We'd already successfully competed against a few other carriers that had tried to come into our market, but we beat them. Could we beat Alaska Airlines? And I was like, yeah, I'm not sure. So we decided to approach them to buy us. And we hired an investment banking firm. And it took 2 years to put the deal together and convince
Wow.
Alaska Airlines that it would be better and cheaper for them to buy us and buy the market than to win the market, because then both of us would be like slashing our fares and not making
Right.
any money. So that would not be a real win-win scenario. So in the end, we sold the business to them, and now they're still operating between Alaska and Hawaii and now all over the world. They just bought Hawaiian Airlines. So it's, but yeah, the lessons here are be willing to take a risk, but it's a calculated risk that you want to take, not just a shot in the dark. And be assaying and analyzing what's going on around you in your environment. And we had closed our eyes to what Alaska Airlines was planning to do and just sat there and kept going along with what we were doing, that opportunity to convince them to buy us would have passed, and we were able to do it. And you have to be willing to make a big leap like that, a big change. And that's part of being an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
Knowing when to pivot.
Yes, we talk a lot about disruptive innovation, and some people go out seeking innovation, and in some cases you have to innovate or die. And it sounds like you were in that situation of innovate or die.
Absolutely.
I'm sure that was a very nerve-wracking situation to go through. Of you are, like you said, betting the farm to make that pivot. Do you have advice for other entrepreneurs who are facing a same type of innovate or die scenario staring them in the face? It's a scary decision to make. What would you recommend somebody to just stop and think and consider this when you're facing that decision?
Yeah, I think you really have to look inside of you and see, where's your faith and what is calling you to move forward. And if there's not some sense of a mission or a purpose for what you're doing, then maybe it's not right to continue in that path. So you have to have a really strong why, and then you have to be really motivated. For us, we had faith that we could do it, and we backed that faith up with numbers, so that was good. And then once you decide, you have to go for it, and you have to go all the way in and take the action that you need to take, but never lose sight of your faith, your confidence, knowing. And so for each person, that will come from a different source. For us, it comes from our God, and we just clung to that and just went for it, gave it all we got.
All in. Love that.
And you just do the best you can.
So living the dream. Love the name. This is a new season for you. So I like talking to people who are doers that don't always have time to talk about it because they're so busy doing. And you have been doing for so long that now you're shifting into this new season to help others to do. What has that transition been like for you?
Oh, it's been exciting. For one thing, I'm learning all kinds of new things. A couple of years ago, I didn't really know what a personal brand was, and now I are one. So there's all kinds of technology that I've had to learn, and so sometimes that's daunting, and sometimes it's, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. But just being willing to put myself out there and say, all right, this is a new challenge, and I can do this. And yeah, it's scary and exciting at the same time. And I also have to say that I am an addict when it comes to learning and growing. So the idea of, yeah, I don't know how to do this. Well, that's just almost like motivation for me to try. So.
What has been one of the most fun things to learn on this new journey?
Learning to do this, be a guest podcasts. I love it. Gosh, this isn't work. This is fun.
This is conversation. This is, we just have a little pina colada and be even better. But other than that, it's a great time.
So yeah, this has been great fun, and learning how to use the technology so that I can do it well, and learning how to find the podcasts and find hosts such as yourself. And, again, just put myself out there. And so that's been a real fun experience. And I think if I were to look back at some of my earliest podcasts a little over a year ago, hopefully I'm doing much better as a guest now.
We're all always learning, right?
Yeah.
So living the dream, tell us a little bit about what it is you're doing now and where do you want to take the business?
Okay. From what am I doing to live my dream, or with the
Or
business?
for your, that's the name of your business now, right?
Right.
Living the
Yes,
dream.
yeah.
So
So
where are you taking that business? Yeah.
with the business, I started by creating an online course, which is online in an evergreen format, meaning the videos and all the lessons are there for anybody to take at their leisure.
Mhm.
And that was a great idea, and it took a lot of learning to do that, put that together. And then the next step was to create a mastermind so that the people who were taking the course could get more guidance from me personally. So the mastermind is more of an upscale product, of course, more expensive, but it's a lot more of time with me and personal mentoring and guidance for each person in their business. And how do they apply these principles that I teach in their own lives and with their own business? So that's been a real exciting journey as well. And I'm also venturing into being an author. Very like now, I'm launching a book that I'm a co-author in, and soon I will start writing my own book. And in the meantime, I'll probably be co-authoring in other collaborative and anthology type books. But so that's a whole new area for me and very exciting. I remember when I was 10 years old, I wanted to write a book, but I never did. And now many years later, I'm actually writing books. That's fun. And then eventually the idea is to create retreats so that the people in my mastermind can actually get together in person at some exotic location, perhaps Maui, or maybe here in Sitka, Alaska, who knows, or some other place, and bring in experts from several different fields and really pull together a program that will absolutely enrich people and give them a lot of fun and luxury in the process.
Nice. What would you say, Ral, is one thing that you do outside of work that you think really makes you be successful in your everyday business?
Oh, absolute devotee of learning. I'm like a sponge. I just soak it up, and I reach out and spend money on investing in myself for education and for
Mm.
personal development. Just a few weeks ago, we were in Fiji doing a Tony Robbins Life and Wealth Mastery for 7 days at 12, 14 hours a day. And that was an amazing experience, and learned so much, met fascinating people from all over the world. And that keeps me excited. It keeps me energized with new ideas and new concepts, how to live my life, how to grow our wealth, all these things. And I just keep learning and keep finding other mentors and other teachers and just soak it up as much as I can.
Perfect. I want to give people a chance to find you and you to share where they can reach out to you. But before we do that, any last words of wisdom? Do you have a life motto that you live by? Any advice you would give to somebody who is just starting out on the entrepreneurial journey?
Yes, my life motto is there's always a way, or as my mother said, where there's a will, there's a way, and you can always figure it out and have faith in yourself. Yeah.
Love that.
So
Thank you, Rel. Where can people find out more about you, more about your mastermind?
thank you for asking. And I'm very easy to find. If you can remember my name, Ral West, you can find me. You can find my website, which is ralwest.com. And you can look me up on LinkedIn, where Ral West. And I have a weekly newsletter that I'd love to have anybody, all of you, subscribe to. And every week we come out with very practical strategies and tips that you can use in your business right now to make your business better and to help you run your business more smoothly and with less of your own time. And I have a YouTube channel. Guess what? Ral West. And I put lots of videos on there, podcasts such as this, and video tips and trainings. And just please reach out to me. Join my mastermind. Look, you can learn more about that on my website. Subscribe to my newsletter and follow me and reach out. And if you want to have a call with me, I'd be happy to talk to you.
Sounds like you've got this personal branding thing down just fine. Thank you, Ral, for being here. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
joining us on Kick on Tuesday.
Thank you.